If you've got a bunch of trees on your property and one of them is leaning toward your neighbor's house and they think you have to cut it down, don't let the cutters take it away. You can take that tree and make some amazing furniture. Let me show you how to make at least one piece.
The tree that you see being cut down here is the actual tree used for this project. Once the tree was down, I cut it into mainly 3 and 4 foot sections. The section I chose for the corner shelf is a little over 3 feet tall and about 22 inches in diameter. Now, since I'm making a corner shelf out of this, I had to take a square and place it on the trunk exactly where I wanted to make the corner piece and draw some lines and cut. Since it's kind of hard to see the pencil marks, I've made a highlight here to show you where I'm going to be cutting. And this is what it looks like after the first vertical cut. See my square here lining along the first cut and lining up where the second cut is. As you're making these vertical cuts without any formal guide, it's a little bit tricky, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do the best you can to keep a nice straight line as you're going cutting through this vertically. And this is what it looks like after both vertical cuts are done. And it's a good idea to place this log onto some boards so that as you're making your vertical cut, when you get toward the bottom, you're not going to be digging into the dirt. You'll actually be digging into whatever sacrificial platform you've got this on.
What you can do after you've measured where you want to make the shelf cuts, you can take a regular handheld saw and make some cuts into the bark if you're leaving the bark on. So you can see that cut, you can make that all the way around to where you want your shelf cut to be. And that will be the marker for your chainsaw. And then what you'll want to do is you'll take your chainsaw and you'll be cutting straight down along that mark, down to as far deep as you've identified you want your shelf to be. And then you'll take your chainsaw and you'll tip it on its side and you'll make a cut directly in like this. And then of course you'll make the other cut wherever the other part of the shelf is.
You can see from this picture I've decided to have this shelf thickness about 3 inches, and then the opening is going to be about 10, and I'm going to have several sections of that throughout the entire length of the log. So here's a picture of the log with all of these score marks that I did with the handsaw into the bark itself, so I know where to cut. And then this is just kind of showing you where the open sections and the shelves are. Once I removed the main chunks of wood that would represent each one of these shelf open spaces, I realized I wanted a little deeper shelf than what I had designed for. So what I did is I took my chainsaw and cut. You can see those thin lines. I cut with the chainsaw a little bit deeper into the stalk, but not really deeper close to the edges. I just wanted to kind of make sure that the shelf was deeper toward the center of the log. I then used a splitting wedge to kind of chip out all of these sections that I cut out in order to get that deeper shelf space.
So when you're cutting with a chainsaw, you can get things fairly smooth if you take your time, but in the end you're going to have to do some kind of sanding. And so what I would prefer to do, for example, for this chair, is I've got a drill attachment where you have sanding discs, and you can really get some good smoothing out with those. And what I ended up doing is getting two grades. I started out with 40 grade, and then once that was fairly smooth, I moved to the 80, and you can get some really good results sanding wood with those two particular grits.
After sanding with the 40 grit disc and then the 80 grit disc, this is what the final product looked like. Since this tree is actually red oak, I was really looking forward to putting some sealer on here to bring out the incredible tones of this wood. So that's what we did next. I decided to go with tung oil for this project, and I had to get some online. I couldn't find any local stores that had 100% pure tung oil. And so I ordered this online from Milk Paint and just applied it with a brush, and this thing Came out exactly as I had hoped, with dark, rich tones where you can see the really dark border on the edge near the bark, and then the really nice reddish kind of tone for the interior wood. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was instructive, and I wish you much success if you attempt this project or similar projects. Y'all take care.